We're going to take a few questions. We certainly don't want to, stop without doing that. So you guys know where the mics are. They're right here.
I want to ask one other question before we get people should start coming out. But Facebook is still a relatively young company. One of the things that we see as companies get bigger, it's harder to maintain the culture. How much do you think about that at Facebook? To build the DNA into the culture.
I mean, every day, right?
But concretely, what do you do about it?
Well, so I think when you're building a company, you can pick a few behaviors that you want your company to have that are different from other companies, and that's like the personality of the company. And so we have these values that we write down, right? And there are 5 of them that we write down. The 2 that I'd focus on right now that I just really try to hammer home every day are move fast and be bold, right, and take risks. And, technology companies are interesting because a lot of companies get stronger with scale. Where like Coca-Cola, the bigger it gets, the bigger its distribution network gets, the stronger it is. Technology companies have some scale advantages, but also they just tend to get slower, right? And then they get replaced by smaller companies that are more versatile. So one of the things that I just think about every day is how can we make this company operate as quickly as possible, right? And often that's kind of encouraging people to move quickly, but a lot of it is just about building out really good infrastructure that enables people to move quickly on top of solid abstractions that we built. And that's a really big deal, I think. Right, I mean, because if you think about it, a company with a few hundred engineers putting out the number and quality of the products that we do, I think is pretty, I'm really proud of it. I mean, that's I think, one of the main things that I'm really proud of. Right, I mean, looking back over the past few months and, seeing like just all the awesome stuff, and in my opinion at least, that we've launched, right, I mean, Messages yesterday, and then the location platform, and the Places deal, and deals, and single sign-on, and Places just before that, and Groups, and all the photos improvements, and just to name a few. That's pretty good. Right? So and I just think kind of encouraging small teams to move quickly, take big risks. Better to take a risk to do something big and try and fail. You don't need to get everything right, but better to try some.
Is that chance to influence things and make things happen part of why you guys are sucking in talent from other companies? Or what's your, what's your magic? Or besides the fact that you're on the upward curve?
I think that really good people have this way of seeking out what is the most impactful position for them to be in. Right, and for a long time we have this ratio that we measure internally, which is the number of users divided by the number of engineers at Facebook. And Facebook, I think, is one of the only
companies... It's a number with a lot of zeros.
Well, it's been more than 1 million, right? More than 1 million users per engineer at the company for a while. And it's interesting because if you think about the spectrum, right, you can be a tiny startup where you have like all this creativity and all this flexibility, but you don't really have any users yet. So from that perspective, the leverage is fairly low. To the other end, where you're like a Google or a Microsoft, where you basically have all the users, right? You're a mature company in your space, but you also have 10,000 engineers, or in Microsoft's case, tens of thousands. The leverage there is pretty limited. So if you plotted out the graph, it would basically be something like this, where Facebook would be like right in that golden period right now. And I just think like really talented people have just a knack for being able to find and seek out what the positions are where they're going to have the most leverage. So it's interesting. I mean, it's all different kinds of people. If we were just go through the Messages team from yesterday, it's just all different folks, right? The engineering director on it, this guy Boz, was someone he was my TF at Harvard, and he was one of the first people that I recruited to join the company. So he's been here for about 5 years now. The engineering manager joined us. He was a platform developer building a classifieds app on top of Facebook, and he joined us because he wanted to be a part of the company that was actually building the platform. The lead designer on the project joined us as an intern. And we always do these management presentations where interns come and talk to the management team about what they did that summer. And I remember I asked him some questions, and he had just went off on me and had all these awesome points about why I was wrong about my criticism of his project and feedback. So I was like, all right, this guy's awesome. We're definitely hiring him when he graduates.
Why did you wait till he graduated then? I didn't really stop you.
Yeah, well, it's a good question. He was actually, I think he was a sophomore at the time. He came back for one more internship before he joined us full time.
Yeah.
The guy who built the whole iPhone version of Messages joined us through a talent acquisition, right? The Zenby team, this guy, Will, a really talented dude, wrote the whole thing basically by himself. The back end, right, to build this stuff. I'm just like a few guys leading the team doing that. I mean, these are opportunities that you just don't get at a lot of places, right? And no matter what your background is, or how you came to us, or what you're trying to think about doing, like it's I don't know. I think it's a really exciting place to be right now.
All right, we should go to the
We
audience.
need to get to questions now. Before you guys ask your questions, no lectures, okay? No long questions. We have a lot of you, so we want to get them rapid fire.
Mark, I think it's fair to say that you're a celebrity entrepreneur, and I think it's also fair to say that the public perception of you is one of a computationally minded, sort of rational and logical entrepreneur. But maybe you can talk a little bit about what it's like to be young and so far ahead of so many other founders and entrepreneurs and CEOs, and talk about the effect that's had on you as a person, and maybe some of the lessons you've had to learn in your shoes.
I mean, I think, oh man, I've made so many mistakes in running the company so far. I mean, like basically any mistake that you think you can make, I've probably made or will make in the next few years.
There's time.
But I don't know. I think if anything, the Facebook story is a great example of how if you're building a product that people love, you can make a lot of mistakes. And I think that's like, and I don't know, I just think that the lesson to other folks from that is focus on building something that people really like and that's very valuable. And, one of our board members always at our board meetings used to make this, whenever we'd be analyzing a problem, he would say, there's 100 problems that you have to deal with right now, but only one or two of them probably really matter, right? So just ignore the rest and put all your effort into focusing on the couple of things that really matter. And I just think that for almost any industry or product that you're in, it's just all about building products that people like, right? And like if you do that, you can do so much other stuff wrong and like learn from that and fix those mistakes over time and like still end up in a reasonable place. And I don't know. So, I mean, I think that, like, we still make mistakes all the time. I mean, take, for example, the conversation we were having earlier about, the contact importer stuff and, contact syncing. Like, do I know that we're in the right place? No. I think we're doing the best that we can right now. And we wake up every day trying to build a great product for people that's responsive to what they've asked us for. So.
Great.
Hi. Mark, curious about education. My 15-year-old daughter, Holly Jets, studies with Facebook in full gear. She is interacting with her friends while studying. But the first couple of years, I thought this was a total distraction, but her grades are actually pretty good, so it must be working. And it made me think, do you think of education as an opportunity area for Facebook? Corporate Facebook pages are fine, but how about, is that an area that you think of building applications and services for?
Sorry, I didn't hear the end of that.
The question is about do you think education is an opportunity in terms of building applications or services on
For making education social.
It's an inherently social activity.
Yeah. I've spent a lot of time over the last year researching education. And, one of the issues and one of the reasons why I ended up choosing to get involved with that outside of Facebook is that one of the issues is you can't actually sign up for Facebook until you're 13. Right, unless you have your parents' permission. But basically, like, it's not very well adopted in under 13, so that kind of cuts out a lot of the time when people are developing. But, yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of the problems in education are technology around efficiently sharing things. And if someone could build a good application that got people engaged, then I think that there's a big opportunity there. I mean, one analogy is kind of enterprise software to consumer software. I think a lot of enterprise software gets developed from this mindset of, like, I want a feature checklist, right? Rather than, like, what is really good to use, right? And I think that that's one of the reasons why a lot of communication tools are going from, like a lot of communication that we do now, it goes over IM, right? It's not owned by by whatever company's IT department you're operating under. It's a consumer product that people are using legitimately to do work. And the reason why they do that is because it's enjoyable to use. And I think the same is going to be true in a lot of kind of traditionally non-consumer areas, right? Not only enterprise, but I think things like education as well, where traditionally the software hasn't been as great to use as kind of the best consumer software. But I think that there's an opportunity now for people to do that and create great socially designed products. And I don't know, I think we'll see it.
So we should keep going here.
Yeah, we got to keep going.
Yeah, we can move in here. Yeah.
Bang, 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 guys.
Havo from the Netherlands. I'm your biggest fan on Facebook. In the last 2 years, I've been advocating to my customers or potential customers that social business, social commerce should be in Facebook, and that any website can be in Facebook. I believe that you guys can do billions of revenues. Do you agree with that?
Can you do billions in revenues and particularly work, as I understand?
Commerce and business, normal commerce and business, not just advertisement.
Sorry, the echo is very tough.
Yeah, it's hard to understand through the echo. I'm sorry.
So now your business is about advertisements, right? You're helping social gaming. But normal businesses, if they sell stuff, they can do it through Facebook.
Commerce, yes.
Commerce, yeah.
So commerce is a big area. Social commerce is one of the hottest areas
So
around.
this is, I mean, what I was trying to say in response to you before, but I actually never got back to your question until the end with one sentence. But what social applications have is they're just much more engaging, right? Because you have the choice of either, I mean, going back to the music example or the games example, right? You could either play a game, or play a game where the dynamics involve playing it with your friends. You could either play music, or you can see what your friends like to listen to through playlists and discover new stuff through that. And I think what you find is that these social apps, when they're executed well, are a lot more engaging, right, and are just more enjoyable for people to use. Now, that creates a lot of opportunities for people to monetize them and build great businesses, right? I mean, whether it's advertising or, commerce, buying things, or subscriptions. I think those are kind of the classical business models, but there might be other things that people come up with as well. I just think that it all starts with building a product that people love, and when you execute a social product well, I think we've shown that you can extend that to many, many verticals, maybe any vertical, and make it so that it becomes a great product that's an order of magnitude more engaging than anything else.
If I'm Andrew Mason at Groupon or Susan Lin at Guild, who's here, should I be worried about Facebook deals combined with location, places? Should I be worried that you're eating my lunch?
No, I mean, I think we want to work with them. Right? It's a deal platform. Right? It's not, I mean, their businesses, they're out selling all these deals, and I mean, we don't have a sales force that's focused on selling those deals.
Right.
How much commission will you take?
How much commission will you take? Yeah.
I don't know. You want to just pick a number?
Just use Ari Emanuel's answer last night, which is fair is where you end up.